Hey, thank you so much for clicking onto this video. In this video I will be painting again on some tote bags. I'm gonna use my own design and decorate some plain tote bags. I've already made 2 of these videos, yes, pretty sure it's 2. So I'll make sure to link them somewhere as well. And yeah, just see how I turn these into something with a really pretty or nice design, if I do say so myself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day. Take care, bye bye. So I first start with putting some plastic sheets between every tote bag, because we're first going to start with a layer of gesso. The gesso is going to prevent the oil paint from leaking through, and if you do not put any type of plastic sheets or something like that between or like inside the tote bag is actually going to stick together, so we don't want that. Obviously we do not want to destroy the bag. And if you just put paper between it, the paper is actually going to stick on the inside, like get stuck on the inside of the tote bag. So I again took 3 designs I made in my sketchbook. The sketchbook will be featured in a upcoming video, where I will fill out a sketchbook, or try to fill out a sketchbook from 100 pages in 5 days, I believe it's gonna be. I'm still working on it, so I cannot predict it yet. But basically I made this face design with a girl who has her mouth open, but the mouth is like dripping. And also I want to say sorry for my hair in the intro of the video. My hair was still wet from showering, and that's why it looks so wild, so I tried to cover it up with some of the thumbnail pictures so that it didn't look too awful for too long. But yeah, okay, back to the tote bag. So the first design, I have this face. She's kind of like in 3/4 profile, and then the end of her, where her chin is supposed to be, it's dripping. So I, as always, immediately go into the painting with my oil paints. I do not sketch first with pencil or crayons. You can totally do that if you want to. I just don't like that. I prefer to just start immediately with my paints and then correct with my paints if I don't like anything. So yeah, I first draw the image, where his nose going to be, where the eye is going to be, and then I fill everything up with color. So I first start with like making sure that I point my shadows out in the face, so around the eyes, where the hair is like falling, around the nose, so that I can define her nose, and then the drips, so just that they get a bit more depth. And then the hair, the same thing. I just first outline the hair, and then where do I want the highlights to be. And then the details I leave for last, which makes sense. Obviously you're not going to start with details. That would be not so smart in case anything gets screwed up. And yeah, my favorite design of the 3 is, I'm pretty sure, the first. I also did like the second and then third one. I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite. It's definitely this one or the next one that I like the most, and I'm quite proud of. I really liked how they turned out. And I always think it's so satisfying to see how, when I'm close to finishing it and I'm like painting in the eyes, then to see the eyes, because then I think the drawing or the painting really comes to life. It's like especially this one, this picture is kind of looking at you, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I also like how the teeth, normally I think it's really weird to paint teeth in a portrait. I think it looks very weird and makes the painting immediately, or the face immediately, uglier. But here I think it fits quite well. It gives it kind of a more funny detail. So yeah, as always, I show you a close-up of the finished product. And then we move on to the next painting. So yeah, I gessoed this one as well. You saw me in the beginning gessoing all 3 of my bags. Again, have some plastic sheets inside of the bag so that, it won't stick together. And then I have this design, which I also made in a sketchbook. This is of a kind of angel creature. And yeah, so the torso is open, or it's unfinished. So I first wanted to paint a ribcage, and I was like, okay, that's gonna be too hard. I'm just gonna like give it an open body to make it a bit weirder. And then she also doesn't have arms. The shoulders kind of stop, and then these wings, these feather wings, flow out. And yeah, basically the same thing. So first do the outline of like the bigger design, so where's the head gonna be, where's the torso going to end, and then where are the wings going to be, like how big is my painting going to be. And then I add the shadows of the body, because in my opinion the body is the easiest thing to paint. I mean, it's way easier than the face because the face has all these little details, and especially with this one, I definitely had a bit of struggle with painting the nose. I kind of redid it, and I actually finished the face off camera because I was really just leaning over my tote bag, just seeing, okay, what am I gonna paint where? And yeah, so here I'm filling in the feathery wings, and with oil paint you actually have to start with your darker colors and then go in with your lighter colors because it has a very slow drying process. I'm sorry. It is easier to first point out the shadows and then go in with lighter colors, add highlights, because if you want to make something darker again, oil paints mix together very easily, so if you want to make an area darker again later, you actually need to wait until it has completely dried. Then for the hair, I decided to give her black hair. I first wanted to do it gray, but then I thought, okay, no, that looks weird. Now she kind of looks like an old lady. I can't. So I went in, I like covered it all up with black again, and then just put some white streaks in it, like functioning kind of as highlights. And yeah, I don't like the face as much of this one, but I do overall like the overall design. I think it's pretty cool how the torso is like unfinished and the feathery wings. Yeah. Okay, and then the third one for this video. So actually a while back, over the summer, I think in June or July, my grandma, so sweet, got me these 10 plain tote bags, and now I actually painted all 10 of them, which is, come to think of, pretty weird because I think in all of my tote bag videos so far I only showed 3 tote bags, so that means that I only finished 9, but they're all finished. I think maybe I painted one without showing, or some video maybe has 4 tote bags, I don't really remember. But anyway, they're now all painted on. And if you try this at home, obviously you can go as crazy as you want, alright? You can paint the whole tote bag, you can also paint as well the front and the back. But I decided to just paint one side, because, you know, if you're walking around, only one side is going to be visible. And yeah, so I thought, to me it made more sense to only paint one side, but you can totally paint the whole tote bag. It's really up to you what you like. So then for this last design I have these 3 smaller faces, and they started out to be woodland creatures. So this face is supposed to be this elf, but then with like an antler, kind of a deer going on situation, a morph, I don't know how to describe it. And I love how the antlers turned out. They also kind of turn out to be like wooden sticks or tree branches, but I'm fine with that. I like the white details that I actually put in it. It gives it so much more dimension and makes it so much clearer what it is, even though it can be either, but I mean, whatever. And then this one, the second one, I started it then gave up on it because when I first sketched it out, it actually turned out to be too big, and it kind of turned out to be this Asian Greek mythology creature, so it already stepped a bit back of the woodland creatures. I actually put the wing ID back. So it's called a Hypnos face, which is like a human male face with then a wing on the side of its head, so that's what that's going to be. And then the third one is a devil design, so it's not even at all, it doesn't have anything to do anymore with the woodland creatures. I definitely stepped away from that idea. I don't know why, it just kind of evolved like that. But yeah, I think the first one is my favorite one of the 3 faces. And then the other 2s, I think I just kind of, you know, the wing ideas being a little bit repetitive, and that's okay. You can definitely take more, you know, you can definitely try out different designs with the same idea. There's no problem with that at all. But now I think I have now a total of, this one included, 4 or even 5 tote bags painted that had like a wing design or a feather design, and I'm like, okay, angels are cool and stuff, but you know, let's not do the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I basically finished now all of the tote bags I had. Let me know if you want to see more of these videos. So far my YouTube channel hasn't really had that many subscribers or watchers, which I think is a shame because, I don't know, I feel like I'm talking to myself the whole time, which is kind of cringe. But yeah, anyway, maybe one day this video will get a couple of more views and people will see it and hopefully like it. Please let me know what you think. And yeah, because I really love these kind of crafts, but I love it even more if I can share it with people. If you just see it and you're like, oh, that's actually not that bad, and it inspires you and gives you an idea to do something of your own. That's kind of my goal, you know, just to share artworks and especially just show you how, you know, you can do it yourself. This is so easy. It's also very low budget. You know, for example, I'm using oil paints, and oil paints for each tube, they cost like 10 euros, so that's quite expensive, but that's just because I prefer oil paints. You can definitely do this with acrylics. It doesn't have to be done with special textile paint or like fabric paint. You can definitely use just cheap acrylics from the dollar store. They work just as fine. I know a lot of people probably will say, no, you need to use your fabric paint, that's the best one. But I mean if you paint on clothes, I kind of get it, but I don't really wash my tote bags, so the paint doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be like water resistant per se. And what I'm gonna do in the next step is I'm actually gonna put a layer of varnish over every tote bag, and the varnish is going to seal the paint in anyway. So if it rains and you walk outside and it gets wet your bag, it's gonna be protected. You know, the paint's not gonna flake off, it's not gonna wash away by just a little bit of rain, it's gonna be fine. So yeah, here I'm doing all of the gloss, or no, the matte varnish, I'm sorry. And I actually did 2 coats over each bag. 1 coat should be enough, but I like to do a second coat just to make sure that it's all sealed and neat and nice. And I just really like the way the look the varnish gives. It gives this really finished look, and you know, it's just easier for protection as well. Oh yeah, and then lastly, when all the varnish has been finished, I take out my plastics out of the bags, because obviously now they're completely dry, so I don't need the plastic to be in it anymore. And we can actually use the bags. Yay! So this is a before shot, just a plain bag, and then the after shots of all 3 bags. I am not sure how well the camera is going to pick it up, but on these tote bags, the 3 you saw me painting just now, I actually used a matte varnish finish instead of a gloss finish, which I've used, for example, on my previous tote bags. So the gloss one just, oh yeah, it gives it a more glossy finish, so a more plasticky look in my opinion. The difference isn't that huge, but this one just, it shines a bit more, I feel like. This is another one, so it has, you know, this nice shine to it, and this one is just more subtle. It's closer to, you know, when you paint a oil painting and you do not put any varnish over it. It has like this very, yeah, it just has like a very dry look. I don't know how to describe it. So the matte one just stays more loyal to how an oil painting finish looks like, I think. So yeah. But overall, the varnish is just so that it is a bit more protected. For example, if you're gonna go grocery shopping and you take one of these bags with you and it's raining a little bit, you know that the paint doesn't go off, or that's like just sealed and protected very nicely. So yeah, if anyone is still watching and made it through the end of the video, thank you so much for clicking onto my video. Please make sure to check out my channel. Let me know what you think about anything I make. I know I'd love some interaction to feel a little less lonely. And I hope that you have a great remaining of your day. Take care. Bye bye.